Hi, in this video we're going to show you how to replace a Hayward Multiport valve. I'm going to walk you quickly through the setup here so you understand what's going on. Over here we have two return lines that come from the drain and the skimmer. They go through a valve to the pool pump and out of the pool pump into the multiport valve. And then the multiport valve does several things, but you can direct the water out through the filter and then out into a line that goes off to my heater. The return line from the heater then goes to the pool jets via this valve. Pool jets at the far end, pool jets at the near end. On the other side of the multiport valve, of course, is the outlet that you use for backwashing and you used for waste. And of course, with all of these multiports, on the top, there's the valve selector here, so you can tell the multiport which direction you want that water to go after it comes in from the pump. You can see this is a pretty old Hayward unit. It's probably 25, 30 years old. There's some plastic here that's disintegrating around this pressure meter. The sight valve is in pretty good shape because I bought that and replaced that a couple years ago, as did I do the same thing with the pressure meter. And then the outlet here, I want to reuse that if I can. That's a handy piece. All the connections here are threaded. So my next step is going to be to disconnect the hose clamps and take out this old multiport. We'll put a new one in. So if this is something that you need to do, then by all means follow along. Thanks for watching. To do this work, I'm going to have to turn off the pool pump. And before I do that, I want to come over here and turn off my pool heater. I do that on this model by selecting mode. And I'm going to let that run for another minute or so, just so that the heating coils inside the heater have a chance to cool down. Because if I turn it off right now, those heating coils still have a lot of heat, and they're going to get up to temperature, and that water inside is going to get pretty hot and might damage the heater. So I'm going to let that cool off, and then I can turn off my pool pump. Make sure that you have unplugged your pump from the wall, or that your switch is turned off, maybe even the breaker is turned off. It probably wouldn't hurt you, but you don't want that pump to come on while you're in the middle of replacing that valve. It's going to create an awful big mess. And inside the box was, of course, the big filter tub, and also this smaller box that contains my multiport valve, this bag that has some of the accessories needed to install the valve, and then this run of tubing. Inside this Hayward kit, there is an inlet and an outlet adapter to the hose, and a couple of hose clamps, and a roll of Teflon tape. Always make sure you've got enough of this Teflon tape. You're going to use this on every one of the threads going into and out of the multiport. These are 1 to 2 inch hose clamps, which you can get at any hardware store like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, or 33 to 57 millimeters metric. You can also get the Teflon tape at the hardware store. These parts you're not going to find at the hardware store. These are 1.5 inch threaded to barb adapters. This one's a straight and this one's a 90 degree. And each of them are going to fit into the ends of our hose and then be secured in place with a hose clamp. I'll show you how all that's going to work. In the kit, what is important to have is O-ring lube. You can get this at your pool supply store as well. You got to wear gloves when you use this, but every O-ring that you have in your system, you should coat with this sort of lube before you install. I've got a channel lock wrench, which is going to help me install the threaded end into the multiport valve. I've got a knife, which I could use to cut down the tubing if I need to. And I've got a little socket wrench, which is set on the end of a 7 millimeter. There it is. So that's a 7 millimeter socket on the end of a screwdriver. I'm going to use that to install my 1 to 2 inch clamps. You could also use a flathead screwdriver. It's just a little more work with a flathead. I find the socket a lot faster and easier. Let's see what's inside. At the top there is a bag with instructions, an O-ring, and a channel that goes and secures the multiport to the sand filter underneath, and some other parts. So this is the newer model of what I currently have installed in the sand filter. And you can see here at the top there's a lip here that's going to sit flush on top of the sand filter with an O-ring that sits underneath it. And then this hole here is going to connect to the pipe that goes into the bottom of the sand filter. So the sight glass is already installed right there. There's a hole in the side, which is where we're going to put our pressure meter, and we're going to be good to go. Some air into the system down here. Going to open up our pump. It's a good time to clean that filter anyway, inside the pump there. So once we introduce some air into the system, we're going to take the top off and pull out that filter so it gets all the leaves and everything out of it. All right, so here we go. Removing this side of the backwash hose. Oh, the O-ring is missing. I'm gonna have to replace that. And the rest of this outlet should just unscrew by hand, and if it doesn't, you can just grab a set of channel locks and put them around the end here. Now you could drain the sand filter. There's a drain plug down here, but I don't see the need to. There will be some water in these hoses, but I think that's fine. I've introduced some air into the system down here in the pump, and that should help bleed out some of these hoses. I don't really want to drain the whole sand filter if I don't need to, because I'll just have to fill it up again after. So I'm going to continue in removing these hoses. With my pump, I always check the O-ring, just visual check. I might put some lube on that before I reinstall it. I'm going to pull out my filter, and I'll clean out the leaves at the bottom. All right, you can hear some of the water gurgling through the system as the air works its way through those hoses. Now my other hose clamps, my new ones, take a 7mm or 1/4 inch socket. These are a little bit bigger, so they're a 5/16 inch or 8mm socket. And I'm going to take both of these clamps off. And I don't even need to then remove these barb to thread adapters. I can just leave those attached to the multi-port and then just remove the multi-port. So here we go, the 2 hose clamps are coming off. And that one's free. That one's free as well. Couple more turns. There we go. And now I can just wiggle these free. It's going to take a few seconds. This is actually taking 2 hands to do, so I just put down my phone for a second. But the top one is free, and I'm just going to loosen the bottom one the same way. Just wiggling it around in circles till it comes loose. Okay, and there's the bottom one loose. Now both are off. The next thing I need to do is loosen up the hose clamp that connects the multi-port and the sand filter. Again, this is just a 5/16 inch socket. I'm gonna release this collar. There we go. Can go all the way out. There we go. Make it easy to pull the collar out. We're not going to reuse this, so it can get thrown out. All we need to do to remove the multi-port is pull it straight up. Try not to do this at an angle. Then wiggling it up, and it's come up 1/2 inch or so, and I'm going to keep wiggling it back and forth until I can get it all the way out. I'm going to install these 2 thread to barb adapters in the same fashion. So the straight one on the top and the 90-degree one on the bottom, I'm going to install it into these 2 receptacles on the right hand side of the multi-port. Just before I thread these in, I'm going to take this Teflon tape. I'm going to wrap the length of the threads right here and right here. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, here we go. Let's wrap this thread. There's one. Okay, the 90-degree one goes on the bottom. Just going to do this nice and gently by hand. You should not have to force this. It should just glide right in. And when I finish, I want this to be in the same orientation as the old one. So it's coming out and down at about a 45-degree angle. So let's see if we can replicate that here. It's starting to get tight. There we go. I got some room left, maybe enough for one more time around. Yeah, it's getting pretty tight. And this one's actually labeled really well. It says pump and return here. So on the pump side, I'm going to put in the straight adapter. Again, it should just thread in really easily. If it's hard, it means you're cross-threading. I'm going to go as tight as I can by hand. And if I need to tighten it up a little further, I will use my channel locks to do so. Now remember, this multi-port's made of plastic, and so you can over tighten and crack the plastic or damage the threads. For example, one common problem you see is that the threads up here where the pressure gauge goes in, the pressure gauge is made out of brass, and this one's wrapped in Teflon. And it's really easy to over tighten and strip out these threads or crack the perimeter of this socket. So you really don't want to over tighten this. You just want to leave the Teflon tape on there, tighten it, and you can always tighten it a little bit further once it's in action if you see it start to leak or dribble. But I would just go until you start to feel some resistance, and then maybe stop there, back off a little bit, don't go any further. One thing I just realized is that once you have this straight adapter in the pump side, you won't be able to turn this bottom one any further. It'll just turn up and hit that adapter. So always do the bottom one, the return side first, and then do the pump. I mentioned I was going to try to reuse this older backwash outlet. I'm just going to pull off the old Teflon tape and put some new Teflon tape on the threads before I screw it in. There was just enough Teflon tape included with the kit to do the other two barb to thread inlet and outlets. So for this one, I went and got my own Teflon tapes. Just make sure you have lots of this stuff handy because it's really helpful. And with the Teflon tape on the threads, I'm going to go ahead and screw this in again. Just looking for it to catch. I don't want to force it. It goes in really smoothly, all by hand. You don't need a tool here. Get a nice snug fit. There we go. All right, now we're going to install this O-ring. The O-ring sits around the bottom of the multi-port valve in between this lip and the sand filter, and it prevents water from escaping between the gap. All right, I've got my O-ring lube, I got a pair of gloves, and I got the O-ring. I'm going to lube this up before I install it. I'm just spreading this liberally around the O-ring. I'll do this a couple of times until it's nicely coated on all sides, and then we're going to slip it on the bottom of the multi-port. All right, here we go. Let's slip it around the edge of the multi-port all the way around. It takes a little bit of stretching to get on there. It might take two hands to do it. Okay, the O-ring's installed. It's just stretched all the way along, and it's got lube all over it, and I think we're good to insert this multi-port on the top of the sand filter. Here's the sand filter. Right in the center is the pipe that goes down to the bottom, to the umbrella that basically sprays the water upwards. So here is my multi-port. I'm going to line it up carefully and just let it slide down on top of that pipe. And wiggle it back and forth a little bit. It's going to go right down. And before I seat it, I'm just going to run my finger along this bottom edge to wipe away any sand or dirt or anything that might prevent the O-ring from working properly. On top of the sand filter, there's a small gap there, and you're never going to get rid of that gap because that's where the O-ring is, and that's fine. We're going to install the collar, which will secure the two together. All right, installing the collar. You really don't want to over tighten it because you could crack it. Each side is going to get a bolt and a nut, and then there's a little cap that goes on the end of the bolt, so that I guess so that you keep these ends clean if you ever need to take it off. They won't be corroded. Each bolt has a head that will take a Phillips or a slot or a Robertson. And I found the easiest way to install this is to actually put one of the bolts and one of the nuts in first. Just do one side up really loosely and give yourself some space on the other side to fit it around. As I mentioned before, I don't want to over tighten this, so it's just sitting in there, and that's fine for now. I'm going to rotate this around, and we're going to do the other side. Same process. All right, that's enough. I'm going to go back to the other side and tighten that as well. Okay, coming up on about a ½ inch of thread sticking through. I'll go back and tighten the other side again. All right, I've got about a ¼ inch of gap on each side, and that's probably a good place to leave it for now. I don't want to over tighten these, and if I get a little dribbling or a little water leaking out, I can always tighten them up a little bit further after the pump is started. So that's a good place to have this. The next point is to install the old tubes, the old plumbing onto these new fittings. So let me find my pipe clamps. Coming from my pump, I'm going to put that into the straight fitting at the top here. Note that my pipe clamp is already on the tubing, okay? I'm going to twist this and push it in until it sits. I'm going to move my pipe clamp forward, I'm going to take my socket screwdriver. I'm going to tighten that up. There are different ways to make this connection. You can make this connection with ABS glue. You can make it with a quick disconnect, which is similar to the type of fitting I have over here. You know, I want to try and get this done on a Saturday afternoon, so I'm just going to use the same fittings I had on here before. I should say new adapters, thread to barb, and then the same tubes and the same hose clamps I had on here before. Outlet, got my old tube here. Note that the pipe clamp is on it already. I'm going to bring it up and fit it on. Tightening this hose clamp up too. All right, we've got both hose clamps on. We're pretty much plumbed here. Before I start the system back up, I'm going to take the cover off the pump, make sure this little guy's tightened up down here, and then I'm going to put my filter back in and probably run the hose in there for a couple minutes just to fill up the line. I'm going to put my filter back in, and I can put my lid back on, and we should be good to turn this thing on. Just once before we turn it on, we're going to make sure that the multi-port is set to filter. And we'll turn the breaker back on, we'll turn the power back on. Got a bit of a leak up here. It looks like it just might need to be tightened up. I'm going to use a ratchet to tighten that one up. Maybe I'll do this one a little bit while I'm here. Now we'll turn on the pump and see where we're at. Alright, the pump's going. I think we're in much better shape. A little dribble here. Lines the pump. I'm going to dry these off a little bit to see if I can tell where the water's coming from. I think this just needs to be tightened a little bit. Sight valve looks good. And I don't see any dribbling here. Underneath, it's just water from the spray earlier, but I don't see any dribbling in there either. Maybe a little bead of water here. Alright. So I'm going to turn off the pump and I'll tighten this connection here. So loosen the hose clamp, then tighten this piece, and then tighten the hose clamp again. Pump's on. Let's have a look and see how we're doing. Pretty dry. Don't see any dribbling. I'm going to wipe these connections now with a dry cloth or a paper towel and let it run for another couple minutes and just see if I have any dribbles leaking out. With a paper towel, it's going to let me see if I have any leaks, where they're coming from. So just dry these three. This one over here, it's not under pressure right now because we're set to filter mode. This only comes in play when we're backwashing or when we're initially cleaning the pool at the start of the season. So now I'm dry. I can have a real good look in here. See if there are any dribbles or drops coming out. It looks pretty good. I'll give it another couple minutes and check on it. And that's it. That's how you install one of these. So I hope you found this handy, and good luck with your install.